olives. But the very first one is this pure, extra pure virgin olive oil. And it takes 8 days for the priest to handle this, to get it from the right trees, and to put it through the process in order for this oil to then be put by the priests in these lampstands. But they went around and there was no oil, no kosher priest-prepared oil for the lamps. What had been used for lighting in there was pig fat. And there's no way that they were going to burn pig fat in the menorah. And then they found one jar. So the story goes. A jar somewhere in the corner under a pile of rubble and some dirt, which still had an unbroken seal of the priest on it. One vessel of oil for the lamp. But it would only burn for 1 day. I'm sure you've heard this part of the story. But they said, let's start. And they put it in the menorah and they lit it. And they went to prepare the oil, knowing that it would take 8 days. And this fire would go out, and it would take another 7 days or so for the oil to be made and put in again. But the miracle, one of the miracles, was that this oil didn't burn out. It burned for the full 8 days. And so we have now this new menorah, the Hanukkah, which you saw a picture of it up there. And it has 9 different candlesticks on this candelabra. And the one in the middle is called the servant candle. And with that candle in the middle, you light the others. And you start from the left. And for the 8 days of celebration of Hanukkah, you light this one, and then you light the next one, and then you light, and so on. Now, we know who is really the light of the world. His name is Jesus. He is not just the prophet, as the Muslims would say. He is not just the great teacher, the rabbi, the Rabboni from Galilee. He is not just that. In fact, John had a real wake-up call when he was on the Isle of Patmos, because he knew Jesus, the sandal journeyman who slept in the bow of the boat and walked through the deserts and sat on the side of the mount, which we call the Mount of Beatitudes, and taught all of the disciples to look at the sparrows and the lilies of the field and the mustard seeds, and explained life and everything that was good and wholesome from the Father he brought to us, and he taught, and the disciples loved him. And John was the one who, even at the Lord's Supper, laid his head against the breast of Jesus. He calls himself the disciple that Jesus loved. But on the book of Revelation, we see in the very first chapter, he gets to hear a voice like thunder speaking. And he turns, and there he sees Jesus. But it is not the Jesus that he knew. Now he sees the warrior king of heaven with eyes of fire and a body like molten metal coming out of a furnace, and a face shining like the sun. And when he sees Jesus, the one who he loves, the Messiah, now it's too much. And he falls to the ground like a dead man. All the blood drains out of him. And Jesus, the warrior king of heaven, with all power and all authority, puts his hand on him and says, do not be afraid. He says, fear not. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. And I have the keys of death and of hell. And then he says, in my right hand are the angels, the stars. And behind me, the backdrop behind me is the church, the candlesticks. And he says, come with me, John. I'm going to show you the end of the age, the fulfillment of the cross, the book of Revelation, the complete destruction and annihilation of all evil and of the devil and his wicked hosts. And I will show you the full release of my promises for Israel and for the church. Come up here, John. I'm going to start it. You're going to see it. So, this is what will happen at the end of the age. Satan will bring out his worst. He will bring out his Antiochus Epiphanes. He will set up his image in the temple and force everyone to worship under pain of death that image. Of course, there will be Mattathiases and hammers in that day, Eleazars and Deborahs, and so many others who will say, we will not. We will not take his mark. We will not bow our knee. And then in the 19th chapter of the book of Revelation, John says, and I saw heaven open, and one standing there, sitting on a white horse, whose name is Faithful and True, and had a robe on him dipped in blood, and he is called King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And all the armies of heaven are riding with him. My grandfather, my mother, my dad, probably your mom, your dad, riding on white horses, coming out at the end of the age to put Antiochus Epiphanes in his place and rededicate the temple and dedicate Jerusalem and dedicate the nations of the world. And there will be one name in all of earth, and it will be his name.
Amen.
So here we are at this festival of dedication, written, prophesied by Daniel, participated, and we see that Jesus is there participating on the Temple Mount at the time of this great feast, this time of celebration. These are the holy days for Jewish people. What they'll be doing is having great meals every night for 8 days. They'll light a different candle. Actually, they'll light one the first night, and 2 the next night, and 3 the next night. So they have to have a stock of candles. And they don't sniff them out or snuff them out. They let them burn right down. And every night they'll give gifts to their kids. Every child will get some little gift every night. And they will speak a certain blessing over the home and over the lights. And they'll give thanks to God for what he has done as their great deliverer. And then they'll play a game, which is called a dreidel. And it looks like a spinning top one that has Jewish letters on it. And what those letters say is, a great miracle happened there. If you live in Jerusalem, it won't say that. It'll say, a great miracle happened here. And the dreidel actually was put in place during a time of persecution when they were forbidden to do religious things. So they had this child's game, and they spin it, and according to what letter it comes up with, you have to give some gilt, which is golden coins with chocolate in the middle. And you can lose it, you can put one in the middle, or you can get it all. You know, it's kind of like that, the spin of this thing. And they sing a special hit song along with it. And that becomes the Festival of Lights and Festival of Miracles. and festival of dedication. So now you know the rest of the story. Let's stand to our feet, shall we?